Goth Rogue. That is the prediction. But first, let's go over the X-Men cast that was just announced. First, Adam Driver will be playing Mr. Sinister. Now, it was rumored that he might be playing Magneto, and they even make a bad joke about it.
At the perfect time, with characters I care very deeply about. So I'm very excited to be playing the role of Magneto. Roll again? Right. Even better. Nathaniel Milbury. So, I'll be right here.
But no, he's playing Nathaniel Milbury, which is really just Mr. Sinister.
Essex had been fascinated with the theories of Charles Darwin.
Given that we have removed ourselves from the mechanisms of natural selection, isn't mankind overdue for the next evolutionary step?
And I think this is dope. I really think Mr. Sinister has been an X-Men villain that we've been waiting to see on the big screen. I think Adam Driver can bring some theatricality and some gravitas to Mr. Sinister, kind of like how the villain is in the animated series or in the comics.
I shall show you! I shall show the world!
His growing fascination with human mutation became all-consuming.
Yes! You are a mere spectator to creation, while I have become the creator!
What are you doing to us?
Have no fear, my friends. With these transfusions, you shall become more than men. Much more. Remarkable.
Dr. Essex,
I am no longer a doctor, James. Tell me, do they speak of me still at the Royal Society?
Indeed. They speak of sinister experiments you are rumored to perform.
Sinister. I'll have to remember that when Queen Victoria knights me.
Mr. Sinister, he's not just a one-off guy, he's a big villain, and I think casting Adam Driver is a good move. We also know that Samara Weaving will be playing Emma Frost. Now, I also really like this announcement. It really seems that they want to have X-Men or characters that they can have for like the next 10 years, really getting them with those Marvel contracts, you know what I'm saying? From all the people that we've seen, they are on the younger side of what these roles would typically be. So we know that Marvel wants these characters and they want these actors to be in these roles for a long time. Bringing up Samara Weaving is also kind of funny because she falls into that category of white women who all look the same. Like, she looks like Margot Robbie, Emma Mackey, Jamie Presley, Faith Ford, Jamie King, or Emma Roberts. You know, I'm going to put all these women up on the screen. They all look the same, and I think it's kind of funny. But the thing is, I like her. I like Samara Weaving. I think she'll do a good job. Now, we also know from the new Spider-Man movie that Jean Grey is being played by Sadie Sink. We are waiting to see what the storyline will bring about of Jean Grey. I think Sadie Sink is good as Jean Grey. I think she'll do a good job. It's just that, will the writers do a good job for Jean Grey? And now, if you can't talk about Jean Grey without talking about Cyclops, we have Kit Connors. Now, I think he is a very safe casting choice. I have no problems with him. I think he can do a very good job. I'll also say that Kit Connors is pretty built. Like, this guy has some muscle. Maya Boyd as Storm, I really like this casting. She is a bit more of an unknown actor. She is coming from a theater background, but I think she can do a really good job. Just looking at her, she looks like she can be Storm. And I think, again, if the writers do a good job, they don't fuck over Storm, she as an actor can do a really good job in this role. Christopher Abbott as Professor X. This is the only one where I'm really dubious about. This is the one where I'm a very questionable. Because, like, I look at him and I'm like, I need to see him bald. I need to see him with no hair. We all know that Patrick Stewart played Charles Xavier and he did a really good job. He brought that character into what we all know as that British professor. And I don't know if they're going to go with that same road with Christopher Abbott or if they're going to make him more of like a New Yorker, but not like a I'm walking here type of New Yorker, but more of like a obviously sophisticated professor. This is the only one where I'm like, I need to see what he's going to bring. I'm not questioning this person as an actor. I just think, what will he bring to the table in terms of his Professor X? And now I leave the standout casting of the video to the very end. Inde Naverrette as Rogue. Now she has been making waves since Obsession dropped, and I think she's one of the ones where people are having a slight bit of controversy with her casting, simply because we all have in our heads an idea of what Rogue should be, especially because X-Men 97 Season 2 just ended, and we also have Marvel Rivals going strong, and that has a very clear depiction of a Southern Rogue who is big, strong, has muscles, and is overall a literal tank. And so when Inde Naverrette was cast, people were instantly comparing her to this type of Rogue. But the thing is, there have been many different types of rogues over the years. And as you might guess from the video title, Goth Rogue, that is what I am predicting. Inde Naverrette will be a more goth type rogue. Now, we've seen this before actually. In X-Men Evolution, Rogue was goth.
Whoa. That was like pretty icksome. Am I talking like her?
Okay, let's get on with it. Action!
And if we think back to those early 2000s X-Men movies, the Rogue in that one, she wasn't like full goth, but she was very like shy. She like obviously didn't want to touch people because of her powers, but she was also just secluded, which was a bit a part of her character. And the thing is, I think Inde Naverrette, I don't know what they're gonna do with her or what she is going to do with Rogue. I literally have no base for what I'm saying here. I have no evidence. For the Spider-Man one with Jean Grey, I was like pulling together all these clues, doing this all detective work to like being like, it's Jean Grey, is Sadie Sink, and that's who this mystery character is. And I was like full on conspiracy detective. Here, I have nothing. I literally have no basis for this. I'm making this video as soon like after the casting has been announced. I'm just saying, I think Inde Naverrette fits that type and look for a more goth aesthetic rogue. Because again, people are thinking of that rogue that's more muscly. And the thing is, usually when we have rogue, we have a Gambit. There's been no Gambit casting announcement. And you know, maybe that's because we have a Channing Tatum in Secret Wars that we know is going to be there. So casting 2 Gambits would be maybe a bit confusing, Marvel feels like, but who cares? The thing is, we are getting a rogue with no Gambit, so that leaves the door open to her own sorts of stories. I think since she's going to be a bit more shy and maybe a bit more secluded, starting off because of her powers, I think she could fit more into that goth aesthetic. I'm simply basing this off of Inde Naverrette and like some of the photos you see of her. Again, I have no evidence for this. I am simply predicting goth rogue. This is not a manifestation. This is a straight prediction based off of nothing. We'll see how it holds up. Thank you all for hearing my crazy prediction. The tinfoil hat is coming off. Goth Rogue.